So this is the class today is about you don't have to keep becoming someone in order to deserve your own life. And where hat is that we constantly, even in silence, if I ask you to monitor yourself on that silence, you will monitor, am I doing this right? Am I good at this? Am I achieving something out of this silence? So silence does not belong to that space of constantly try to become someone. And so the world is shouting at on this whole level of it has programmed, conditioned the human beings to have this, have that. And then a lot of people are having that, is also questioning themselves. Others are on the path of having that or maintaining that, is also questioning that. And then you will find constantly we are in a battle of having things in a certain way or not having things in a certain way. Both parties are in the battle. So there's a subtle level of awakening here, and I will work that awakening to you. So very gently find a place where you are going to sit very gently and elongate the spine, shoulders relax. Hi, Dazi. So I will move the camera towards Darren, and I will come to the topic very gently because it's easy to explain the topic while you're in the space of the class. So the topic is you don't have to keep becoming someone in order to deserve your own life. So now sit gently without preparing to improve yourself. Allow the body to arrive very gently before the identity arrives. Take a deep breath in. Now notice how quickly the mind organizes itself into somebody spiritual, somebody wounded, somebody successful, somebody failing, somebody healing, somebody productive. Now simply observe this movement without resisting it. Now take a deep breath in, shrug the shoulders up, lift up the shoulders, tilt the head back, massage the back of the skull, open and close the mouth wider, wider, chin to the chest, breathe out, and very gently collapse the spine. Take a deep breath in, shrug the shoulders up, tilt the head back, massage the back of the skull. Now open and close the mouth wider, 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 and close, chin to the chest, and collapse the spine. Now, the next breath, breathing in into the space of the third eye. Close the eyes and start feeling the fingertips, toes, and breath out, collapse. Now take a deep breath in and twist in the spine to the right side. Stomach fold in. Observe that right shoulder. Breathe softly through the nose. Let the inhale arrive without ambition. Let the exhale empty without commentary. Can you do that? Take a deep breath in back into the center. Change the formation of the legs. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Twist the spine to the other side. Stomach pulled in. I want you to lengthen the exhale gently and feel the body beneath performance. Feel the body beneath performance. Back into the center. Observe the moment after the breath leaves, where the nervous system immediately is searching for occupation. This gap is important. It reveals how deeply the identity fears stillness. Now, see the identity constantly talking because it's fear of something. Now, take a deep breath in and stretch your neck to the right. Back into the center. Stretch your neck to the other side. Back into the center. Now, the uniting awareness immersion is to explore this hidden exhaustion is constantly created by this psychological performance. You don't have to keep becoming someone in order to deserve your own life. Back into the center. Now, very gently, bring that left foot into the back and keep the right hip open. Shoulders relaxed. Now, try to keep that foot not flipping towards the left. Try to keep that toe pointing into the back properly. Try to keep the heel aligned with that space. Now shrug the shoulders up, shoulders roll back, lift up the space of the heart. Take a moment there. Investigate the nervous system maintaining this identity, this achievement, this improvement in yoga, this emotional regulation, this productivity of this body. Socially, am I acceptable? Now breath out, drop the elbows, walk those palms very gently. Now it's very important through the pranayama, through the asana, through the dharana, the inquiry, the posture, the meditation, the breath work. You're guided into this direct experience of the existence prior to this self-construction. Can you see that even when you say that someone has done this to me, something wrong with the world, you're constantly, without knowing, you're triggering the nervous system to build up an identity and then approval to the identity, then to eliminate the threats to the identity. Can you see that? Can you take a break from that space for a while? Now allow the fingers to relax, because all this is now constantly in the space of collectively on the place of people inquiring. Is the humanity has entered into a stage where many people no longer know how to rest without a guilt. Even they say they want a holiday, they can't rest without the guilt. The nervous system has become psychologically occupied by becoming somebody. And that somebody will never rest. Somebody is opposite to rest. Identity is opposite to rest. Story of the wounded, healer, all opposite to rest. Now, can you come into this place? Even moments of silence are unconsciously or filling with self-monitoring, self-analyzing, identity maintaining. When you come to that place, take another deep breath in. Not to the identity anymore. Just the breath follows into the movement of the breath, into the body, into this whole space of the galactic energy. Coming back. Now, this is not to the identity again. Why is this class is important? Because the exhaustion is no longer only physical, it is existential. Many people are not only tired from labor, but from carrying this constantly negotiated sense of self. The body struggles to settle because worth has become psychologically conditional. Worth now into a plan. Strong on the pelvic floor. Now left knee onto the floor. Right arm stretch into the front. Keep the hip still on the same alignment. Don't lift up the hip. Right arm reaching up without the hip turning. If you can, clench and unclench. Wherever the arm goes, now right reaching into the back and touch the floor. Now take a deep breath in, left arm reaching up to the ceiling, clench and unclench. Stretch into the back and touch the floor. Now drop the knees and give a good rotation to the hips, opening up that space. This practice does not encourage, I'm not encouraging you passivity. It is just invites you to discover whether awareness, whether the breathing, whether the movement, a life itself can exist before performance begins. Now, you don't like to live without the story because you feel like there is no worth in you. Now rotate the hips onto the other side, wide rotation. Very gently stretch the hips into the front, knees wide apart, stretch the hips into the back, and try to bring that buttocks onto the heel. Keep those arms stretched properly, shoulders relaxed. Now knees together, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in into the up face. Shoulders roll back, open up the throat. Create the space between the back of the neck. Drop the shoulders in the back. Breathe out to a gentle down face. Couple of more breaths. Lengthen the exhale very gently. Feel the body beneath the performance. Observe the moment after the breath leaves, where the nervous system immediately searching for story, story, story. Am I doing it correct? Occupation. This gap is the part that we are working on. It reveals how the depth, the identity still fears stillness. Now left foot into the front onto the pigeon pose. Shoulders roll back, opening up the chest. Let the hips sink in a little bit. Let the feet, the knee bear this weight. Some of you, it might be the psychological weight. So how this work with the presence then? All right, now we know what is happening to us, not as personally. Shoulders roll back. Take a deep breath in, drop the elbows, walk those palms, release the tension. See, you have to understand your identity constantly is forcing into the nervous system to hijack the nature of life. So presence is not created through force. Your story is a force. You're blaming the world is a force. You're blaming things that are not happening in your life is a force. Your identity is a force. Presence emerges when the nervous system stops compulsively manufacturing this psychological continuity. Can you observe yourself without feeding thoughts? That's all I'm asking. It won't happen to you right now. Of course, some of you have been in the practice, so I'm sure it is happening. If it is not, then you're aware of it. That's all. It's not something to achieve, remember? So the classes are going a little bit more deeper into the depth. Take a deep breath in very gently, come back. Coming back is a return to dropping the identity. So now I will clarify some of the text. Most people think the presence means concentration. But true presence begins when awareness no longer needs that constantly reinforcing the identity and finding peace for the identity. Your story will never find peace. Take a deep breath into a plank, stronger on the pelvic floor, stronger on the pelvic floor. Right knee onto the floor, left arm reaching up to the ceiling, left arm reaching into the back, touch the floor, keep the hip aligned. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling, clench and unclench. Right reaching into the back and touch. Drop the knees. Rotate the hips wider, wider. Rotate the hips wide onto the other side. Drop the knees. Stretch the spine into the front and into the back. Couple of more times. When knees wide apart and drop it, palms facing up. So what are we doing now? We are inviting you to experience the moment where life happening without that internal, nothing to do with just that internal narration. So this allows the body to experience the existence directly rather than through self-performance. Some people have a problem when they look at the body. It does not mean that you're not achieving to have a better place in the body, but it shouldn't be improved with the link to the identity. Over time, this can soften this chronic internal tension. Over time, this emotional over-identification. Over the time, if you practice the class with in that space of genuine realization, the compulsive self-monitoring, and over time, the nervous system will rest from that hypervigilance. Now, your forward bends reveals the hidden negotiation with worthiness. Your standing posture reveals how effort becomes identity. Heart openers will reveal how vulnerability becomes narrative. Your balancing postures reveal the violence of self-monitoring. Got it? I used to always say, don't try to push into balance. So that's why I always say to my classes from 26, 27 years ago, I never encourage my students to perform the posture, but to inhabit it honestly. So please don't use the body today as evidence of achievement. It should become a place of direct listening. Make sense? Now, palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing in into the up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Shoulders relax. Now, very gently, slightly bend your knees. Keep the feet flat. Walk the palms flat towards the feet. But any moment where your palms are lifting up, you stop there. You just stop there. That's all what you're going to do. Now you're holding on to the opposite elbows and move your head side to side and release the tension. Holding on to the opposite elbows, or you slide the arms onto side to side. Now you take a deep breath in and look into the front, flat back, not hunching. Breathe out and bring the palms next to the feet, if you can. Otherwise, don't worry. Now have that back expansion. Remember, you don't not have to keep becoming someone in order to deserve your own space or life. Now, very gently hold on to the back of the neck and give it a good massage to the back of the neck. Now, relax and wake up the spine one vertebra at a time. One vertebra at a time. Shoulders relaxed. Just arms raise onto the crown, interlacing the fingers. Keep the hips stabilized. Keep the feet stabilized. Keep the knees stabilized. Stretch towards the right. So this expansion of the uniting awareness is to the immersion to explore the nervous system, conditioning around the identity, conditioning around the performance. Now to the other side, conditioning around the body and postures, conditioning around the achievements, conditioning around the emotional management, and conditioning around the psychological becoming. Now breath out when you come into that phase of the realization and drop the arms to the side. So the today's class is into the direct embodied inquiry through the breath, the movement, through the meditation, through whatever, whether we are going to yoga nidra or because it is that existential observation. Entering the field of non-becoming. Some of you already doing it. I can sense you, the way you're talking, where you work through life, whether it's your job, whether it's your health, whether whatever the situation is, I can sense it. I want you to take a moment before I go into any movements. Notice how the mind has already entered into the next posture or to the room, already carrying the comparison, already carrying the expectation of the work, expectation of the relationship, expectation of that event, expectation of that unfinished identity. expectation of entering that healing, entering into healing narratives, entering into ambition. And in the end, what is it this is all about? Self-maintenance. Now, very gently bring the left knee onto the chest, if you can. Otherwise, you can do this lie down. Now, take a deep breath in and arms raise onto the crown and leave the knee there. Now, observe how much you want to balance this posture. It's not creating a better balance. It is an inquiry into what remains when psychological constructions soften into the body. So it is not holding the body anymore. Great. Now hold the knee and bring that knee to the chest. Don't bend forward. Breathe out and release. Now to the right knee to the chest. First you hold the knee. Then you stabilize the body. Take a deep breath in. Release the identity of balancing it. Arms raised onto the crown. And leave the knee there. Great. Many human beings have never encountered themselves outside this occupation. Even the early stage of my teaching, everyone came through occupation. Everyone came through reaction, achievements, the fear, the identity, the memory, or they simply want to become something again. Now take a deep breath in, breath out, knee to the chest. Completely breathe out and relax. Now shake the legs and release the static, because a lot of things are going to come up in the body. But remember, you're not going to construct the identity again. Now, holding onto the left ankle into the back. Take a deep breath in. If you're yawning, that's fine, because it's happening something relaxing, releasing. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Now take a deep breath in. While you're pushing the leg into the back, bend forward. And stop on an area that the performance is no longer needed. That's all. You're entering into the territory where awareness is allowed to exist before your performance. Now knee to the chest and breathe out. Great. Now relax. Now, before entering into the next posture, I want you to work on your breath. Breath before the identity. Now, we did the entering the field of non-becoming. Now, breath before identity. Now, hold on to the other side. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Notice how quickly the mind attempts to optimize the breath. Control the breath to do this posture, to improve this posture. Using this breath to achieve a future state. Got it? Now take a deep breath in and go to a place where you're stretching the back leg. Move it towards the front. And instead of allowing breathing to become ordinary again, not manipulated, not performed. Remove all those things, because then your identity softens. Inhale softly as through existence itself is entering the body. Exhale slowly as though centuries of internal maintenance are leaving. Now knee to the chest, completely breathe out. And relax. Now palms onto the pranam position. Pause gently after the exhale. I want you to observe the nervous system. Close your eyes. Observe the nervous system, whether it's searching for occupation again, searching for the story again. Most people are not addicted to activity, actually. They are more addicted to their continuity of the self. They talk about themselves a lot. Nothing wrong with it. It is now on the space of observation. Now, very gently sit down. Pull out the buttocks and bend the knees slightly and feet apart. So just like we are as I sitting, nothing to do with the posture here. I want you to do a forward fold, and I want you to use that forward fold to observe the collapse of the negotiation. As the body is now gently rolling from the hips into the front, you can stretch the legs a little bit more if you want. Notice how movement has become tied to worth. The nervous system is whispering, maybe then I will finally achieve this posture. Soften the jaw, release the eyes, allow the spine to stop performing flexibility. See how far the flexibility happens when you stop performing the flexibility. Let the posture becomes the honest rather than impressive. Feel the difference between organic movement and inherited pressure. Now very gently coming back. That's all it needs. Now, before a lot of people entering into yoga, they observe the flexibility of the body. You're observing the nervous system a bit more deeper. And we have gone a bit more further than the collective. Now I want you to sit on a space where you can really sit. Sitting posture, the effort without self-violence. This is great for standing postures. Now take a moment and observe how quickly the effort becomes the internal aggression. Many of us were taught that pressure equals value. This is commonly used on games, on sports, on teaching. So what happens? Even the healing has become punishment. Even growth becomes self-rejection. Can strength arise without this hostility? Can effort exist without domination? Feel the space of the feet touching the earth directly. No image required, no performance required. Now bring that awareness. We are going to go to the heart opening, the vulnerability without the identity. As the chest opens, bring that awareness into the chest. Notice whether the sensation immediately becomes narrative. The condition the mind constantly organizes the experience into your autobiography. Because in society, wants people to be appreciated if their autobiography is great and painful. So what happens is the identity has become strong. I'm not saying that to someone who is writing it, don't get disturbed by my teaching, because it is, you can write it even furthermore if you understand the teaching. Perhaps the grief does not need ownership to move, because I'm going through that. Perhaps the sensation can exist before identity claims it. Please stay with me with this openness gently. Many people are not afraid of feeling, but they are afraid of feeling without identity, organizing the experience. So I'm giving you very profound teaching. Don't be afraid of feeling. But you're so afraid of feeling without identity organizing the experience. Now that I have to do something, has to drop. Now, when we come into this space of the balance, relationship with instability, let the balance expose self-monitoring. The mind becomes evaluation, corrective, hypervigilant. Instead of controlling this instability, become relational with the moment, whether it's a breath, whether it's a sensation. Balance is not a rigid perfection. It is a living adaptation. But your story has, everyone should go into this category. Everyone has to go onto that category. Now, the wisdom is not a removal of a movement. Wisdom is the end of the war with movement. As you all are resting before the self-construction, as the external stimulation is softening to you now, now observe that identity begins to producing itself internally through memory. It's nothing to do with the world. It is just observe how it is organizing now. Planning. Just don't feel it. It is doing the self-reference. It is doing the repair. Observe the machinery carefully. Not to destroy it, but to understand it. Because some people actually try to destroy it by taking their own lives. Ask inwardly now, who am I before memory assembles me? Who am I before memory assembles me? Who am I before fear organizes the future? Who am I if the wealth is distributed among all of us? Who am I if the health is distributed very well? Who am I if the love is spread? Remain inside the unanswered space. Even mind wants that positive verbal cue to organize you again. Awareness exists before conceptual identity resumes. Now take a moment. If you want to lie down for the next part, it's okay. Otherwise, just relax and feel how unfamiliar it is to stop psychologically moving. How unfamiliar is to stop psychologically moving. You have centuries of your lineage ran with psychology. And this modern nervous system is fears non-performance because the identity was built through momentum. Relax the forehead. I can see your foreheads. Release the eyes. Soften the jaw. Relax the throat. Relax your chest. Relax your stomach. Relax your belly. Let the body stop holding identity together. Feel the difference between collapse and surrender. Collapse disconnects, surrender deepens contact. Please repeat slowly. Bring the palms onto the pranam position. I do not need to become someone in order to deserve my own life. I do not need to become someone in order to deserve my own life. Please repeat slowly. I do not need to become someone in order to deserve my own life. Observe how quickly the identity still try to reconstruct itself. This is not a failure. This is now the conditioning has become visible to you. When the conditioning becomes visible to you, you can see the world in that visibility. The practice is not about abandoning life. I never said that. It is about ending the confusion between exhaustion and meaning. Now, saying that actions can emerge without abandonment, presence can exist without performance. Now, then, rest can exist without guilt. So, my end of the class is you don't need to become someone in order to deserve your own life. Namaste.